Under pressure. Boom, 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 ba-da-doo-dum. I wonder if I'd get copyright struck for that. I sound exactly like the original. Welcome back to another episode 40. We're into the 40s. I cannot believe it. And there's hair all over my microphone, which I will now proceed to take off. It must be mine. Welcome back. Thanks for listening. Today, I'm recording this right before stream, so I might pile drive through this topic, and there's a whole lot to talk about with this topic. But that being said, I wanted to talk about pressure. The pressure that streamers are put under that no one really talks about, and I don't think a lot of streamers realize, but I sure do. Now, pressure as a streamer can come from every direction, literally every direction. Pressure can come from viewers. Pressure can come from themselves. Pressure can come from society, social media, family, friends. Just like any job and just like any time in life where you have to perform in terms of giving it your best and giving it your all, pressure can definitely make you break. As a streamer, though, the type of pressure that comes through is so much different. It's not necessarily deadlines per se. Some occasions might call for that. But it's not that 9 to 5 deadline to finish this project, deadline to get this assignment to your boss, whatever it is. Get this job done, blah, blah, blah. It's this pressure to always be, pretty much try and be perfect. Now, a lot of people will say, be vulnerable, be transparent, be honest with your viewers, all that kind of stuff. And I sure have been. I've cried on stream. I've shared a lot on stream. I've been very transparent. I've shared my mistakes. I've shared my successes and the growth in between this and that. But there's this immense pressure to be perfect, to be always looking like you're alive, first off, looking like you've got your shit together, looking like you don't have a bad day, but you're still on camera and you still have to perform and you still have to entertain because, yes, if you do this as a hobby, you can easily just be like, not today, I'm not going live. And yes, you can choose to do that while you're full-time, but it's a big risk when you do this full-time to take a day off. And I just talked about that in the last episode. Thanks for listening to that one, by the way. This pressure of always being on top of your things is so immense that it doesn't get spoken about. I think a lot of streamers feel it, and a lot of streamers that have to take breaks or that disappear or that just quit completely, I think succumb to this type of pressure. Viewers will tell you, play this game, do this, try that. And then there's the, you don't look very good today. You look tired today. Are you okay? You look sick. Meanwhile, you could feel on top of your things, man. So there's this always constant pressure for just being on top of your things, being perfect, just putting out the best you can, while not really being able to just sit back and relax and assess your own life all the time. And yes, it's important to do that, but I personally think that there's not much time to do that in this full-time streamer gig. It's one of the downfalls, I'd say. Now, there's this social media aspect to this is you always have to, it's that Instagram life, I call it. And why do I say that? It's because back in the day when Instagram was, I think Instagram is still useful and all that, but I think when everybody was on Instagram because it was new and it was this fun thing of sharing your pictures on a constant basis, little captions, people would share their life moments and it would look absolutely beautiful. And people still do this, by the way. It would look great. People would take pictures of their trips and this and that and their smiles and their families and friends and drinks and parties and new cars and this and that. But at the end of it, behind the picture, behind the person posting, hitting the post button, as soon as they hit post, they're upset, they're annoyed with life, they're irritated, they're frustrated, they're maybe depressed, maybe suffering from mental health issues. So I call it this Instagram life. And there's this pressure that on social media, if you become vulnerable and you share that you're not having a good day, you share that you're not doing well, you share that you're struggling, you share that your numbers have dropped, you share this, there will always be people, and I don't care who says what, there will always be people who grasp onto that and will squeeze it dry in terms of making you feel even worse about yourself. I mean, for instance, I just shared the fact it wasn't even a struggle. I shared the fact that I finally got the keys to it's an apartment, I guess, considered, but it's like a townhouse, a semi, for those who know what that is. And I'm renting it, and I even got chirped for renting instead of owning. So there's always going to be people. So there's always this pressure of like making sure whatever you put on social media isn't going to backlash on you, even if it's just you being you. Which I think everyone should be able to be you. Everyone should be able to be themselves and share their opinions and all that. But we've seen it all. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikToks, YouTubes, everywhere you can post on social media, there will always be people who make you feel like crap. So there's this pressure, again, as a streamer, as a content creator, to just be the best you can. And sometimes that means not sharing your opinion and not sharing your thoughts, which sucks. But it's like, pick your poison. Share it, get it out, feel the wrath of the internet, or don't share it, don't get it out, and have to do that struggle in your own terms, in your own mental, and just kind of getting through it yourself, by yourself. There's pressures all over the place, and it's so difficult to navigate at times. When you go live and you're having a bad day, you're trying as hard as you can to smile, to be fun, to be your normal self on stream. For example, I'm very energetic for the most part. And everyone says, we got you, don't worry, you're having a bad day, we got you, we got you, we got you. But when you have a bad day and it's live, no one really wants to stick around. They might lurk more, they're probably not going to chat more. I've experienced this before. People chat less, people come less, people stay for less time. And I get it. Who wants to be around someone who's grumpy or upset or whatever? But it's really difficult to just be like, I'm not going to go live today, because you are in those moods. And oftentimes streaming, gaming, sharing content, doing your job as a full-time streamer is often your escape from some of those IRL struggles and those real life obstacles that you might be going through. So it really does suck as a streamer to be vulnerable and to be transparent. And to share that, yeah, today's not a good day. Someone says, hey, Form, you look down. Like, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. But I'm still live, and I'm still trying to entertain, and I'm still sharing my content with you guys. And I'm still here to chat. But then it's like there's people that won't stick. You see it in the numbers. I mean, the numbers don't lie. When it's one of those days, you're just like, yeah, clearly I had one of those days. So it's very difficult as a streamer to understand what to do when you feel these things. And if you've ever had a shitty day and you still had to go to work, and you still had to deal with Karen at the front desk, who's like always like super chipper and like always calling you out on your shit of like, oh, you look tired today. Like, it's difficult. It is very difficult. Pressure. It's absolutely draining. But the flip side, when you get through these things, when you get through this pressure of understanding that you are your own person, you control what you want to do, you end up having more fun, and so does everybody else. There's been plenty of times, oh, you should be playing this game. You shouldn't play that. Why are you playing this? I'm not going to watch you if you're playing that. Eventually, you become so desensitized to other people's opinions that you end up doing what you want to do, which you always have, but you do it with more confidence, more pride, and just more self-respect. At that point, the pressure goes down. It's alleviated a little bit, but it still is there. I don't think we give other streamers and ourselves enough props for going through these pressures of social media, of trying to explain what you do for a living and people looking at you all weird, you know? It was Canadian Thanksgiving last weekend. I went to a family get together, someone that's on like, not even related directly to me, but someone that's directed to another family member, all that, asked, how's your gaming going? Like they knew what the heck they were talking about. That's all they know is I game for a living. It was really difficult to be put under the pressure of explaining what I do. I love explaining what I do. Now, don't get me wrong. But when people still don't understand after explanation, but they're just still like, hey, how's your gaming going? It's like, I know you don't care. It's just that small talk of like, hey, how's work? If I was a doctor, you'd say like, how's work? If I was a paramedic, how's work? If I was a construction worker, working hard, you know what I mean? So there's these pressures on the outside world, off the internet, offline, that You have to explain what you do, and you have to be proud in what you do. And sometimes if you're having one of those days where just like, I don't know where to go with my content, I'm not very creative, I don't know what's happening, I can't change it up, blah 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 blah, because there's just so many things happening, you can be caught off guard and that pressure just hits. So that being said, when there's pressure, make sure you just push through. How do you do that? You be yourself, you stay true to you, and you have some self-respect for yourself. How? You do you. It's that simple. Simply said, not simply done. I hope this makes sense. The pressure is always on, but those who don't fail under pressure will succeed. And you can succeed. So can I. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode of Formcast. I don't know what we'll talk about next week, but new desk arriving today. Moving to the new stream setup at home probably by the weekend. Freshness, newness, more funness. Fun doesn't rhyme with newness or freshness, so I just went with it. Cheers.